Hi, this is Nicholas from Arium, Apple repair and upgrade specialists. In macOS, you can have several different types of files called links. Now, links come mainly from the OS's underlying Unix architecture, but there is a special kind of link unique to macOS, which is called an alias. An alias can be considered an extended type of symbolic link. Aliases are sometimes called symbolic links, but people who use this term are in error. The alias was in fact designed to overcome many of the shortcomings of the symbolic link and its ability to be broken quite easily. The only sacrifice is in size. The alias takes up more space on disk than the symbolic link. So what is a symbolic link? Well, a symbolic link is a shortcut to another file. It is a reference to another file on the file system using a relative path. The best way to think of a relative path is to imagine a treasure map. X marks the spot of our file. UR here marks the location of our symbolic link. The relative path are the instructions to go directly to X from our location. The problem with a relative path is that if our location changes, the instructions no longer take you to X. We've lost our file. Aliases use an absolute path to the file. An absolute path uses a higher point of reference in order to maintain the path to the file. In our example, that would be the port at the top of the island. Now, wherever we are on the island, we can always find X, as we know where the port is, and it doesn't move. What this means for aliases is that we can move the alias around the system, and it will be able to remember where the file is located, even if you move it to a different volume. Aliases are also a little more clever than that. If for whatever reason the alias can't find the file from the absolute path, and this would occur when X has moved, it would actually search for the file on the system to find it and relink to the new location, so long as it's on the same volume that it was when it was created. This means both the alias and the file can change location, and they will still work. So why are aliases useful? Well, you're probably using them without realizing. All of the icons on your dock are in fact aliases to the original files. In this case, applications and folders by default. Anytime you add something to your dock, it is an alias. You can drag applications to the left of the recently used applications divider, and files and folders to the right. If you want to remove something from your dock, simply drag it off until you see the word remove appear over the icon. Let go and the item disappears. The items listed in a Finder window sidebar are also aliases. For instance, if you click on Documents in the sidebar, you're in fact going straight to the Documents folder that is located on the boot drive, Users, and your username. You can add an alias to the sidebar by dragging it from its original location to the sidebar. You can rearrange their order by dragging them up and down in the list. If you wish to remove one, drag it out of the sidebar until the little X icon appears, and again, let go. We can also open a Finder window that shows the original location of the file that the alias points to. Right or Control-click the alias and choose Show Original. For the dock, the procedure is the same. Right-click and select Show in Finder. You can also Command-click the icon and it will achieve the same result. This works for both the apps and the files and folders. You can also create an alias to an item directly in the Finder. You might want to do this if organizationally you have a file, folder, app or disk located deep within the tree, but you want to be able to access it from a higher level, or to relieve the caching strain on RAM by relocating large files that are on the desktop. To create an alias in place, select the item, then choose from the menu, File, Make Alias. An alias is created in the same location as the original file. You can now relocate the alias to its new location by dragging. Alternatively, you can select the file and then hold down Option and Command whilst you drag the item to its new location. This creates an alias in the new location. In the Finder, you can identify an alias by the small black arrow that appears in the corner of the icon. Again, if you want to find the original location of the file, right or control-click the alias and choose Show Original. There are other kinds of link that macOS uses, but all of them are either created using the terminal with Unix commands or by the system. You are unlikely to ever need to use one unless you really know what you are doing. We would, however, like to highlight that macOS uses hardlinks in two key places. Hardlinks are additional references to the exact same data on disk. For this reason, any change to the data is reflected in all of the references. You can have as many references to the data as you like, and if any one of them gets deleted, including the original file, the other references still point to the data on disk. macOS uses hardlinks for its Time Machine backup facility, which allows it to add an additional hardlink reference for every file that hasn't changed since the last backup. This way, it takes up no additional space on the backup drive, but always looks to the correct data. It's also what allows it to delete the earliest backups when needed, as the data will still be pointed to by the later hard links. The other place that you will find hard links is with an iPhoto library that has been migrated to a Photos library. The photographs in the migrated library are hard links to the photos that are in the iPhoto library. That way, they take up no additional space on the drive, but can appear in both of the photo organization apps. It's also why you are safe to delete the iPhoto library after you have migrated to the newer Photos app. The Photos library retains the reference to the data on disk. So in conclusion, aliases are useful shortcuts to files, folders, apps or disks on your system that you will find throughout the OS. They are both easy to create and use, and ultimately give you more flexibility when using your Mac. Be sure to check out the other tips that we have on our blog by visiting arium.co.uk/blog.